Ever feel like you're driving blind with your investments? You see the big numbers, but you're not really sure what's going on under the hood. Well, today, we're going to change that. We're building your ultimate investment dashboard, and we're going to do it by demystifying 5 key financial ratios that'll help you steer your portfolio like a pro. Ready to take the wheel? Let's go.
So, first things first, let me ask you a question. You see a fund that returned 20% last year. That's a no-brainer, right? You jump right in. But what if I told you that 20% return might actually be a huge red flag? I know it sounds crazy, but it gets right to the heart of what we're talking about today. Because, you see, a high return, that's just the destination. What really matters is the journey you took to get there. Was it a smooth, scenic drive, or was it a terrifying, white-knuckle roller coaster ride where you thought you were going to lose everything? That's the story these ratios tell.
All right, our first stop on this road trip is the road itself. Before we go anywhere, we need to understand the terrain we're driving on, and that, my friends, means measuring risk.
The first gauge on our dashboard is standard deviation. Now, don't let the name intimidate you. It's actually a super simple idea. It just measures the bumpiness of your investment journey. It tells you how much your returns tend to swerve up and down from their average. So here's how to read it. A high standard deviation means you're on a roller coaster. You get those thrilling highs, but you also get those stomach-turning drops. A low standard deviation, on the other hand, is like a freshly paved highway, giving you more consistent, steady returns. The key thing to remember? A lower number here usually means a more stable, less stressful ride.
Okay, so now we know how bumpy the road is. Great. Next, let's check our vehicle's fuel efficiency. Are we getting good mileage for the kind of road we're on?
And this is where the Sharpe ratio comes in. You can think of it as the miles per gallon for your investment. It answers a really simple but crucial question. Am I getting enough return to justify all these bumps in the road? It's not just about the return, it's about the risk-adjusted return. So, what does good mileage look like? Well, as a rule of thumb, a Sharpe ratio over 1 is considered pretty good, and anything over 2 is excellent. A higher number just means your investment is working smarter, not just harder. It's efficiently turning the risk you take into actual returns.
That all makes perfect sense. But let's be honest with ourselves. Nobody ever complains when the market violently lurches upwards, right? We only hate the bumps that send us careening downhill. So what if there was a way to measure just that?
Well, guess what? There is. It's called the Sortino ratio, and you can think of it as a smarter cousin of the Sharpe ratio. It completely ignores all the happy upward bounces and focuses exclusively on the bad bumps, that nasty downside volatility that keeps investors up at night. This is a measure that's all about protecting your capital from losses.
To put it as simply as possible, the Sharpe ratio looks at the whole road, all the ups and all the downs. But the Sortino ratio, it puts on night vision goggles. It focuses only on the potholes and those scary drops. For a more conservative investor, a high Sortino ratio is a beautiful thing to see.
All right, we've checked the road and we've checked our car's efficiency. Now let's look at our speed. How fast are we driving compared to all the other cars on the highway, which in our world is the overall market?
This is exactly what beta tells us, and it's a really simple idea. If the market is the general flow of traffic, beta tells you if your car is flooring it in the fast lane, just keeping pace with everyone else, or driving cautiously over in the slow lane. It's a direct measure of your investment sensitivity to the market's every move. So, a beta greater than 1.0. That means you've switched into sports mode. When the market speeds up, you speed up even faster. But when the market hits the brakes, you slam on yours even harder. It's aggressive, and it absolutely amplifies both your gains and your losses. On the flip side, a beta of less than 1.0 is like driving in eco mode. It's a much smoother, more defensive ride. You won't accelerate as fast as the market in a rally, that's true, but you also won't fall as hard in a downturn. It's for the driver who prefers safety over pure speed.
So we have the road, we have the car, and we have the speed. But there's one last critical piece of this puzzle, the person behind the wheel, the driver. Is your fund manager actually any good at their job?
And this right here is alpha. After we account for all the market's movement, that's beta. Did our driver, the fund manager, generate any extra return? Did they find some clever shortcut, or did they just get carried along with the rest of the traffic? Alpha is the ultimate measure of skill.
And it's pretty straightforward. Positive alpha means your driver is a genius who beat the traffic and got you there early. Zero alpha means they just kept up. And negative alpha? Well, it means you probably would have been better off just taking the bus. Or, in other words, investing in a simple index fund.
And there you have it. 5 key gauges for our dashboard that give us a complete picture of our investment journey. So let's just pull over for a second and see how this all comes together.
This dashboard is your complete toolkit. Standard deviation shows you the road. How bumpy is it? The Sharpe ratio measures your car's overall mileage, while its cousin, the Sortino ratio, focuses on how it handles just the dangerous potholes. Beta is your speed compared to everyone else. And finally, alpha. That tells you about the skill of the driver. Are they actually adding value? When you look at all of these together, you finally move beyond a simple return number and you get to see the whole story.
So if you remember one thing, remember this. Anyone can tell you about the destination, that final return number, but a smart investor knows that the real insight, the real key to long-term success is understanding the story of the journey.
So now you have the tools. You've got the complete dashboard to not just pick investments, but to truly understand them. The road is wide open. The only question left is, where will your journey take you?